Hello, I am Internet Personality Genzaki, and this is the Sexy Voyeur Podcast. Say hi, Matt. Hi, Matt. See,
Wow, Jin's multiple personalities are coming out. This is cool.
Ooh, do we finally get to see the breakdown of Genzaki's brain?
ooh, breakdown. Ooh,
Nope, I'm going to have one
brain.
myself because I can't spell for shit.
Well, you
See,
knew that.
Eddie, you're quiet again.
Of course I am. And I know why, too, I think. Maybe. Nope.
Eddie, you should try deep throating your mic. Maybe
Yeah.
you'll actually sound more manly.
Yeah, get the mic out of your
Ayo.
ass, and then
I
Hello, everyone.
this boner is very awkward.
Let me make it more awkward. Oh.
Oh yeah,
Again, how you doing?
that works for me so well.
I know. So you, me, after the podcast.
Ooh yes. Anyway.
Ooh.
Yeah.
To talk about gaming related news and not our sexualities. We spoke about the Ouya because I support the Ouya, if anything, because of its name, because it's Ouya. Ouya.
Oh yeah.
They've announced that they expect to reiterate the console every year, like a cell phone essentially, re-releasing it at the same price but with better technology every year. And they also said that they plan to tie purchases on the console to your account rather than your console, so that when you buy a new one, if you buy a new one, you just transfer everything over. Done.
Well, then what's the incentive of buying one if you just know it's going to come out better next year?
If you use that logic, you'd never own one. I could get one this year, but it'll be better next year. The incentive there is that it's cheap. It's $100 console.
Yeah, sure.
Works for me. I mean,
And even if you wanted to update it once every 2 years, still it comes out to less than $8 a month to buy a new one every year.
that
not
makes
bad.
sense. I mean, you're able to upgrade it each time you buy. So, buy it the first year, wait a few years, buy the next one because it's upgraded, and hopefully the price didn't go sky high on it.
Mhm.
And
I
then
see
you
it as
transfer
being a
everything
nice
over.
counterpoint to consoles as well, because with the main reason a lot of PC gamers specifically dislike consoles is because you can't upgrade them when they are, well, let's keep it real. A console is obsolete right out of the packaging because it was prototyped and built months, if not a year beforehand. So once you have it, you're already using out-of-date technology. And the Ouya tries to counter that a bit by updating. It's not a bad idea if you're willing to pay for it.
It sounds like they have a good concept, and I like that they're talking about not raising the price on it. Like, because we all know as stuff gets where you can upgrade it, it tends to get pricier. But if they're doing stuff where it's like last year's big thing where it's already cheaper and they just keep doing that, it'll keep improving consistently and they can keep that price. But if they're doing stuff where it's current stuff, I almost wonder if, in theory, it's a great idea, but they're going to change it once it actually gets there. But I guess it's one of those time will only tell once it's actually out, once people are buying them, and once the first upgrade really comes.
Hmm. Yeah, I hope they stick with the idea, because the idea is great. If they stick with it, we could see where it goes. I hope it does well, because it'd be good for indie gaming. Yay, indie gaming.
Yay, indie games.
Yay,
Speaking
Indy!
Speaking of indie gaming, Microsoft is retiring its XNA platform. What that was it was a uh, programming suite that would allow you to program games for computer, but more for use on the Xbox 360 through its Xbox Live Arcade system. And they've retired that, and they're not saying if they're going to come up with something new or if they're just ditching the idea of supporting the indie gamer entirely. I hope it just means they're working on something big, but because I really like the indie games you could get through the arcade. What's it? Fez was built in XNA, so was Bastion, so was Limbo, um, uh, Braid. Like lots of big games were made with this, and to see it go is to miss out on that in the future, potentially.
It's the thing that indie games are really getting more popular, which a lot of people go, well, once they're popular, they aren't really indie.
Oh,
They still
bullshit.
are. And it's a lot of the games that I've found on Xbox that I've bought for indie games have been fantastic. Like, if anyone hasn't heard of this, you need to look it up because it's 80 Microsoft points, which is literally $1. It's called I Made a Game with Zombies in It. And it is stupidly fun. Most simple game ever. It only lasts 10 minutes, but you can play it over and over again and get different outcomes. And the guy who made it sings a song in the background about making the game and how it only zombies and killing things and all these. It's ridiculous, hilarious, and fun. But if you get rid of the indie games on the Xbox, you won't find games like that anymore. And that, for me, like, when I have extra Microsoft points laying around, I'm just like, I'm gonna go check out the indie game section, see what I find. Maybe I'll find something really cool. And I tend to find a lot of really nifty games that are just fun to kind of mess around with from time to time. And the thought of them taking that away not only does it hurt those indie developers out there because that's a platform that they'll never make on again because they won't be able to, it also hurts the people that are buying the Xbox and play on it regularly because there are people that literally live off the indie game section on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's one of those things also that in recent years, the indie games have gotten a lot more attention and a lot more people are playing indie games now. And I think that's what's really interesting is that's good because that means you have a lot of gamers who are willing to try something new. And what's nice about indie games is that it's something new. You have a lot of good game experiences, and they're really cheap. You're not having. It's not like it's something new, but I have to spend $60 and you're unsure. It's like it's something new. It's cheap. What do I have to lose?
Mm-hmm. And you also got to look at it. The indie game itself came about as a reaction to the evolution of the medium, because back when gaming started, all games were what we would consider now to be an indie game. Pong, Tetris, games made by one guy on a low budget. That's just the way the game. And we want. I guess part of it is we want those games back because a lot of the games you can get off the indie game marketplace are evocative of games we played as kids. Limbo is one of the big ones in that regard.
Oh my God, I love Limbo. I love that game. See, this is why we need a bigger market and we need to encourage indie games. We need to encourage those makers to make more games because, there could be an absolutely amazing developer out there that hasn't had their shot. Mm-hmm. And then they come out with a game, it gets put on Xbox, and then someone sees it, a developer, whatever, sees it and tries to get a hold of them, and then they get a job at a bigger developer making more amazing games.
Actually, I don't think that one's quite the point. The reason a lot of people make indie games is because they don't want to work for the big developers. They want to get out there and they want to make the games they want, and they don't want to make any sacrifices. Because when you get in with a big developer, then everything's got to be able to change on the turn of a dime to fit the publisher's changing needs.
Well, yeah, but it's at the same time, I know people who start out as indie developers and doing things like that, and then move on to bigger developers because they had to start small and start somewhere where they could get a job.
Oh yeah, with
but they wanted
industry
to work
and the
with
way
these.
it is now, it is definitely hard to get a job.
But you always have the indie games that. What's great about these indie games is you have such big rising stars. I mean, where would we be without Cave Story? Where would we be without Minecraft? Oh my word, Minecraft! I mean, these people don't think of it because of how popular they've gotten, but these are indie games, So
Also,
by taking the if Microsoft take that out of the equation, we could be missing the next big thing, the next big moneymaker that Microsoft will be relying on.
also there was a game that came out last year. It was by an indie developer. It was only 3 hours long. I can't remember the name of it right offhand. It was a really beautiful art-driven game by the looks of it.
Journey.
Journey, yes, thank you.
Mhm.
Memory is just kind of fading tonight, so
Well, that's the thing with
um,
indie games; they don't have to be long. Like a lot of
yeah.
them, if it gets to 3 hours, you've actually playing quite an epic game
And
because
also,
they're cheap. You don't need them to be like. Oh wow! I just realized that now we're lucky if we get a 7 hour long first person shooter.
yeah.
Ugh.
Also, you have to take a look at other games out there that are also, like Angry Birds. Indie. Whee! Like Angry Birds. And, like, shit like, I would say Words with Friends, but
Scrabble ripoff.
I know. But I'm just saying, those little iPhone games and things like that.
And hey, Words with Friends may be a Scrabble ripoff, but it's really fun, and that's all that
Yep.
matters.
Yep.
Um, but moving on, I felt we would have to talk about this topic, and I'm kind of sad that we do. We like or at least I like the free to play game, the game that you can pick up, play for a while, figure out if you want to sink any money into it, and if you do, cool, you get some goodies. If you don't, continue playing it, or just drop it without having lost anything. Right now, the free to play game Bullet Run is being discontinued after less than a year. I think it's been around for 7 or 8 months. There's no plan to relaunch the game, and the website and forums are going to be taken down, which hints that it's probably not coming back. The big thing here though is people are getting you bought stuff in the game, and less than a year later, all of your purchases are gone because the game's gone. I think this. If we see more of this, it's going to start waking people up, and the free to play game is going to suffer because of it. Because why buy something if the game isn't going to be there for you to enjoy your purchase?
Oh, boy. Okay. For me, this is one of those things to where bad. Because it seemed like, oh no, this game either A, did successfully well, and they're, picking up and just going, fuck you, running away, and taking all the money they can. Or B, this is a kind of thing to where people are going to look at it and go, huh, well, if this does really well, we can just, do that thing that they did. Or, the game did really bad, and they're just like, well, we don't want to support this anymore because we can't afford to keep supporting this anymore. So I feel bad for the people who spent their money on this free-to-play game, and now everything is going gone.
Hmm. Yeah, that's the ultimate thing. Is I love playing free to play games. Currently, I'm playing PlanetSide 2, and I've put money into PlanetSide 2. And it would really suck if I keep playing that game because I've spent about $40 into it now. And I feel that if this game were to end next year, I would feel really bad about having spent that $40 because I'll probably spend more along the line. And because I'm expecting spending money with these people, I'm expecting this game to be around for at least a little bit so I can enjoy my purchases. And I can't think of PlanetSide 2 ending, but then again, PlanetSide 2 is really big. Bullet Run, I'd actually never heard of.
So maybe that's why they're doing. I was going with the latter plan because it's one of those things to where, oh, this didn't do very well. Well, might as well pack up because we can't afford to keep footing the bill on this. Keeping servers and things up, and scrap it and try again.
Mm-hmm.
That's the
It
only thing I
also,
can think of.
I also start to think maybe there's a lesson here to be learned to play smartly. Now, this could become a slippery slope in that if the game's not popular, you probably shouldn't buy anything in it. Now, the problem with that mindset is if everyone follows it, then the game will probably disappear faster.
Or you could do something along the lines of, microtransactions.
Well, that's what it was,
Well, then,
microtransactions.
in-game, being able to do kind of like what League does and just like bring people in. Just you gotta be able to draw people in. You got to be able to draw people in and get word of mouth out. Once you do that, people will start coming over slowly but surely and start playing and, getting quote unquote addicted to it. I wouldn't say.
Well, yeah,
quote,
that's
unquote,
what I
addicted.
think every free-to-play game wants, is they want their word of mouth to spread the word out to get as many people coming in to play their game so that they will take place in, because the more, like, I'm going to say, just pulling numbers out of my ass here, but say only 10% of your players actually buy something while playing the game. You're obviously going to want more people, so that 10% will be a bigger group who are actually paying money.
Well, then I'm all out of thoughts and my words are going nope. So somebody else speak.
Woof.
All right.
Well, the thing with free to play is a fantastic base, but if you don't get the game name out there, you don't get it out there to the point that people actually start using it and playing it, you're going to have a harder time getting those, payoffs from the microtransactions. Like PlanetSide 2, everyone that I know of has heard of that game because they market themselves well and they do well by broadcasting their stuff. And I mean, you could do it by word of mouth. All you have to do is create a Twitter account and really start getting out there and mentioning it. Make a Facebook page. Like in today's industry, having a good, strong social media side to your advertising is going to make you a lot more fans and make you money if that's what you're doing. If you don't have that, a lot of people are like, okay, I don't really feel connected to this because, like, a lot of people, like Guild Wars, for example, it's one where you have to buy it and then it becomes free to play. But with Guild Wars, they update their server status on their Twitter constantly. If something happens, they go, hey guys, we've got this. We know this is going on. We're trying to fix it. This is, these are the servers that are going to be shut down. This is when it's going to come back up. We'll keep you posted. And they do keep you posted on that. Having that stronger side when it comes to social media really helps a lot of these games where it's either you have to buy the game first and then it's free to play, or if it's just free to play outright, like PlanetSide on Steam and Team Fortress 2 on Steam. Like, they are fantastic games. You just need to get the word out and get people playing them and get people that are playing them to say, hey, dudes, you should come try this game, and get other people to do that. It just takes time. But if you aren't doing it correctly, you've already lost before you started.
It brings up the idea of, with free-to-play games, maybe the best way to start is look at the beta numbers. Like, you notice a lot of the games that become really popular, and I can't think of one that really breaks this mold, is that if the game was popular in beta, it's probably going to be popular, it's definitely going to be popular in release. And if it wasn't popular in beta, there's a good chance that it won't be popular in release. So if it doesn't get big up there during the beta, you might have to rethink your your business model.
Mm-hmm.
It's back to the drawing board because this didn't work. Okay, boys, we gotta make this work to where people get, that quote unquote addicted crack style to it. Let's go.
And I think you're really right on the other part, in that if you're going to do one of these games, you have to get the word out. If anything, just go to 4chan and dump the link a bunch of times. They'll hate you for it, but you might
Just
get
keep
players.
spamming.
Exactly.
Just keep spamming. Just keep spamming, spamming.
And on to our last topic. This one irritates me. Borderlands 2. people know of Borderlands 2 because it was one of the biggest games of last year. And because of that, people are aware of Tiny Tina because she was one of the mascots of the game, so to speak, with having that funny trailer.
Wasn't she the Necromancer?
No, that was
Oh wait,
Gage.
wrong one. See, I need to get this game and play it.
Yeah.
Cause I'm a derp.
Yeah, Tiny
We knew
Tina
that.
is being accused by some gamers of being racist because she speaks in urban slang. Now here's the problem with her being a racist. She's white. How can she be a racist caricature when she's white? The
Okay.
racist thing I see here is people saying that only black people speak in this urban slang. And I give the writer, Anthony Birch, a lot of credit because he said he will change the character if it can be proven that she is racist, but he doesn't see how she is. Because
Guys.
she's not.
Okay.
Guys,
Okay.
I'm done again. Fucking done.
Bye.
Bye,
Eddie,
Eddie.
Give
come
me a
back to
soda.
me.
Eddie, come back to me. I made you a muffin. Anyway,
Can I have this
so no, fuck you. I eat the muffin. My muffin.
Have a cupcake?
The cupcake is a lie.
Okay.
I could have went further with that since I came back and this is no my muffin. I eat the muffin and I'm going, yeah, I could have went way down deeper into the gutter for that
Okay,
one.
stop, Eddie. Just stop. Okay,
Nope.
so let me explain
Jesus,
something
what-
about Tiny Tina. Tiny Tina, if anybody hasn't heard of this character because you're in a hole somewhere and haven't seen Borderlands 2, haven't seen any of the things involving her, you need to go look it up. Second of all, let's put it this way. She has raised herself as, if you've played it, spoiler alert, if you have not played Borderlands 2, shut this off now.
Okay.
Tina's parents died by bandits. She has raised herself and worked with Mordecai. Now, if you remember Mordecai, he was in the first game. No Tiny Tina in sight, which means during the first game, she was alone. That's how you have to assume it. So,
And Mordecai doesn't speak like that.
yeah. So she's raising herself and being raised amongst bandits. So how is she racist because she learned to speak a different way because she had to adapt to her surroundings?
Well, that and it's Borderlands.
the
A
other
lot
thing-
of people speak in weird ways. Like a lot of them have a redneck thing. Is that racist?
Exactly. And speaking of rednecks, if anybody hasn't heard it, I dare you to look up a song called Honky Tonk Badonkadonk, which is one of the words that everyone says is partially racist because she uses badonkadonk to describe a missile that you have to go retrieve. So there is a country redneck song to end all redneck songs talking about a woman's butt being the honky tonk badonkadonk. If you think that's racist, I suggest you go after them, which, by the way, it's Toby Keith. Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's just get your head out of your ass. Anyone who thinks this is racist, because the man who wrote this character isn't a racist. Ultimately, even if you think the character might be straddling the line, look at the writer. Is he standing there with a swastika tattooed onto his forehead wearing a white robe? No.
No, and Anthony Birch is one of the nicest guys that I have personally met in the gaming industry compared to like amongst some of the guys at Epic. I actually realized this the other day when watching some YouTube videos of him and his sister that are hilarious the other day. I met him at PAX Prime. He was there, promoting Borderlands 2, and I actually got to talk to him with like a short little discussion about it, and it was really, really cool. And he is the nicest sitting there, and if you think he's racist and that's just what he's doing, there were people there of all different ethnicities dressed up as characters from Borderlands 2. He was handing out free VIP passes to go to their after party. And just like, here, thanks so much for doing this. You guys are awesome. He was surprised by how articulate some of these people got. Like there was a guy who actually went and had a custom made temporary tattoo of the Gunzerker's tattoos on his arms so that he could cosplay it and have that. And like he was so surprised and so thankful that so many people were impressed by this game, and he was amazing. So people that are saying, "Oh, he's racist and he did this to, push his own views on other people." You need to shut up and go take a really nice big swig of reality from your coffee cup in the kitchen, because that isn't the intention. They wanted a kooky, fun character that you could enjoy and get a few laughs out of. And if you actually listen to a lot of Tiny Tina's dialogue, she's a trip. She is absolutely hilarious, and she has some of my favorite lines in the game.
I'm gonna put it like this. I just watched a little bit of the video, just like with her in it. I'm gonna put it like this. You hear worse things coming out of a 10-year-old's mouth on Xbox Live than what came out of her mouth. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I dare you to go listen to a 10-year-old Call of Duty player for 10 minutes and listen to Tiny Tina for 10 minutes and tell me who you get more offended by.
Exactly.
Probably
So,
the person
people-
who's saying faggot like a homophobic machine gun.
That would be the 10-year-old playing Call of Duty.
Yep. Anyway, so yeah, I think we agree. People out there are morons. We've been the gaming
much.
booth. Like, comment, subscribe, tell us if we're doing good. And if you think we're racist, then please go get us a nice saltwater douche, because you are officially a cunt. Take us out, Eddie.
All right, but it's gonna be slow and painful.